Before we start talking about meters, let me introduce you to some of the meters I have used. In 2007, when I was first diagnosed as a diabetic, I bought the Optium Omega. This was a very inconsistent meter and gave me readings all over the place. But also, maybe I was varying that much, so I couldn't blame the meter so much. Also, another thing is that technologies have changed very rapidly since 2010. Later, I switched to a Bayer Contour. The Contour also I found pretty inconsistent and gave me readings really to make no sense out of them. Also, the strips were very expensive. Then I learnt of a new meter in the market called the Accu-Chek Active. The active strips were much cheaper than the other models, so I bought an active and I was using it for some time. This meter uses a code chip to be inserted on the side. Every time you changed a pack of strips, it came with the code chip and that had to be inserted. Somebody on a forum told me that an Accu-Chek Integra, or Compact as it is known in the US, was a better meter because it utilizes a roll of strips which were never touched by human hands. So the tests were very accurate with this meter. However, the strips are exorbitantly expensive. I had two of these meters but didn't use them for a very long time. I then read a report in a scientific journal which compared several meters on the market, and the first ranking meter was a Bionime 100. I immediately ordered one and started using this for a very long time. The Bionime 100 is definitely one of the most accurate meters on the market, but the problem was that since it's a US product, the strips had to be procured from the US, and that became a difficult proposition every time. Then I happened to learn that the One Touch Simple Select was a very accurate meter. I immediately ordered one, used it quite a lot, found it to be accurate. But the cost of strips is always a factor when you are buying a meter. So I switched now back again to the Accu-Chek Active. This time a newer model had come up in the market and didn't use any coding chips to be inserted in the side. I have found the Accu-Chek Active to be a good consistently inconsistent meter, so it's very good to track your numbers applying some mathematical simple formulas. One day I was wanting to buy strips for myself for the Accu-Chek Active and found that there was a new meter along with the strips which was proving to be cheaper than the strips of the Accu-Chek Active. I thought that that would be a better way to go about it rather than just buying the strips of the Active. So I ordered the new Control D meter for just rupees 299. And the 100 strips cost me about 800 rupees. This meter I found to be very accurate and a very good meter, though it doesn't have a lot of features like averages and so much of memory and remembering the last so many tests and all that. Those things come with the other meters. This meter is a simple BG meter for the moment, but is very accurate. I highly recommend it. A diagnosis of diabetes is a tough one, and the first reactions always are of denial. People are not ready to believe that they are really diabetic, and it takes some time for this to settle down. Once you've accepted the diagnosis and settled down with the idea that now you're diabetic for life, the question comes to mind, what is to be done about it? Among the many ways to control blood sugars are lifestyle changes, medication, and exercise. You could use at least two of them or all three in combination, like I did in the beginning. Then I cut out the medication and I managed it with only lifestyle changes and exercise. Let's look into testing a little bit, because lifestyle changes will involve a lot of testing if you're going to do it without medication. Remember, diabetes is like having a cobra in your living room. Keep watching it and you're safe. Lose sight and you don't know what's going to happen. By watching it, it means that you always keep a control on it, for which you're going to need a lot of testing. Testing ought to have purpose. So every test must be thought of carefully before doing it, and it must tell you something of value. Use your strips very judiciously, and it's best not to waste a lot of money on needless testing. The meter is your best friend, and it will answer all your questions better than your doctor can, or better than any medical association or guidelines can. Use your meter well, and you will have a lot of answers very rapidly. The first thing to remember is the BG number, blood glucose number, is not a static number. It changes moment to moment. So you could be at 100 any given time and 105 the next moment. So don't be very surprised with it. These numbers tend to change quite a lot. Then you hear of the advice to wash your hands with the alcohol swab. That is really not necessary. Soap and water can easily do the trick. Wash them with soap and water, clean and dry them, and you're ready for your test. One thing I've learned over the years is that a prick on the sides of the fingers doesn't hurt as much as the mounds do. So use the sides of your fingers, get an adequate size blood drop. Do not starve your meter for blood. If you need to get blood flowing into your fingers before doing a test, you can shake them rapidly or just snap your fingers for a few seconds, and a lot of blood will be flowing in this area. One question I get quite often is how often should a needle be changed? There is no need to change a needle every few days. I don't change mine for months on end. Every lancing device that comes with a meter has a setting of depth, and use the setting which is best suited for you. Though needles need not be changed every now and then, remember that you should not share your needle with anyone. If you want to test blood glucose of somebody else, change the needle, then throw it away. You can now use a fresh one for yourself. Like the blood glucose number is not static, blood is not homogeneous, so it differs from differing parts of your body. So blood from the tips of your fingers may be different from your elbow region, from your feet, and therefore the blood glucose reading taken from different parts of the body could be slightly different from each other. In India and in the US, we use mg per dl or milligrams per deciliter as units of blood glucose. In Europe, Australia, some other countries, they use mmol per L or millimoles per liter. Millimoles per liter into 18.05 is milligrams per deciliter. Another point to note is that for lab testing, they draw blood from your veins near your elbows, and they use the blood plasma to do the testing, while home meters use whole blood. However, the home meter is supposed to adjust your whole blood number to display the blood plasma number. But meters can be very inaccurate. By law, they are permitted to be plus minus 20% off accuracy, which means that if you are at 100, your meter could very well be showing either 80 or 120, and it would be legally accurate. Another thing to note is that as the blood glucose rises, so does the inaccuracy. At a level of 80 to 90, your meter may be most likely to be at around 2 to 3% of error, but as it goes up over 100, 120, 140, 150, so does the inaccuracy, and the 20% is achieved if you are very, very high. Strips have coatings of reagents, and these coatings are susceptible to contamination, corruption by heat, air, whatever. Keep them in a safe place in the box that they come in. There is no need to refrigerate them. Ambient temperature is just fine. Blood glucose tests are performed during the day at different times. The first one that you do in the mornings upon waking up is known as the fasting blood glucose reading, because that is the time when you have not consumed food for at least a period of 8 hours. It could be 10, it could be 12, but a minimum period of 8 hours is required. Then you could do prandial testings, post-prandial testings, which are done at probably 1 hour, 2 hours, depending on you and your doctor. You could even check 30 minutes. You could also do random readings at any given time of the day, depending on what you need to test. I have tested extensively in my diabetic journey since 2010. I have tested variables and parameters like different foods, different exercises, foods after 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, exercises after 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, combinations of food and exercise, combinations of a particular type of food with a particular type of exercise. I have done some really extensive testing, and until you do that, you're not going to have all your data before you to make proper judgment. I believe that one should always be in the know of his blood glucose at any given moment in time, depending on what you have consumed or not consumed, within a range of plus minus 3 milligrams per deciliter, 3 mg per dl. Even 5 is good enough, but until you can reach ability to predict your blood glucose within that range, you need to test.